imagine growing up in a gang where they have your body, you have your mind, and they basically are telling you that they own your soul. And the only way to live outside of this network or spider web is by going out in the world and making this gang money, getting resources for the gang. And the only way that they allow you to get resources is being in a position that is more controlled than the current one. Like, you think it's bad that they have your body, mind, and like trying to own your soul. You're trying to escape, and you think, okay, anything's better than this. And you get into a position where, like, if I had some money, if I just had some real money, then I can get these people off my back, out of my head, trying to stop trying to own my soul. And you get into a position that, for the public's sake, for infamous's sake, looks like you have gained quite a bit. You can have clear skin, you can have perfect hair, you can buy a body, you can have the desirability of people saying, oh, she got money, they got money. And it attracts all of those things. But now you're in a position where you have all of that mind, body, and soul issue on a higher scale because more people are demanding more from you, not from your parts, not from you being present, but from you existing. And they you have to pretend you're grateful for this opportunity because it's giving you generational wealth. But in reality, it's giving people that own your mind and body the generational wealth adjacent attachment because they own you. And the only thing worse than being poor and being owned is being rich and being owned because the stakes are higher. Not for you. They say it's for you to, put the pressure on you, but for them, because this is the ultimate slave. You already committed to mind, body, and soul to survive. You're already in the mentality of this is what was necessary. And then you go ahead and try to hustle. Because that's the mentality, that's the thought, that's the normal, that's the success. Hustle. And you get to that spot. And people that have no idea what it took to really get there are so jealous. People that know what it took to get there are jealous. And the people reaping the benefits of it are jealous. Not because they want your position, but because of your natural influence that they most likely figured was not the main factor in this being successful because they believe in machine, oiling the machine more than they believe in organic. Fern Gully, Tim Curry, that's them. And we're over here like the whole forest existed. There are houses everywhere. And you're over here trying to have a house. Are you trying to create one? Toxic love. And then the people have no idea. They just see the rhythm, the manufactured rhythm. And they say, oh, wow, that's motion. I remember thinking, damn, that person's only a year older than me. Look where they got in a couple of years. You don't think realistically about why someone like that person would be chosen. And realistically, the gang that they go from to. The only difference between your mind, body, and soul being owned by these people, family, friends, enemies, whatever, is when you get into notoriety, press, basically canonically being able to impress the masses, social structures, it becomes even more important that you're not yourself. You're just what they've conjured of you. The things that they need you to do. They need the body, the avatar of you. And the less that you exist outwardly, like don't get out, stay in deep. there's a well in there and just cover it up the best we can. We're gonna two ways that it goes. We're gonna either make it so that you shut down when you're triggered and your automatic response is things that we already programmed into you, or you get so accustomed to the debauchery and blasphemy and the straight up just divination that you request even more harsh things so that you can look like you're in the posse. Y'all like murdering children after you fuck them in front of everybody on camera? I'm gonna order some of those children. And that network is gonna give me even more power because they're the top. You can't stop children being trafficked. So let me get in on that. This is what I've learned in the last 2 years. And I really get frustrated that everybody's like, well, why wouldn't we think that you're doing the same thing? Why wouldn't we think that that's the type of time you're on? I think people underestimate, like severely underestimate, ignorance. And I mean it on their part. The more you get exposed to, the younger you are, the more you're, what is the word? Acclimated to chaos, acclimated to this is just how it is, this is just how it goes. But there's a deep part of you that knows that's wrong. No matter what you're exposed to, no matter what you go through, no matter how many times, how many people, whether it be a hit on the back of the head, choking and suffocating you, gouging your eyes out, destroying your nervous system through your butt. Destroying your nervous system through your butt. Or, wrecking your ability to have a healthy pregnancy, have healthy organs to have children, to maintain your own life, to not get some disease that comes because your body breaks down naturally after 30. And we apparently need the adrenaline and spinal tap fluid and stem cells from infants and mothers to maintain the fact that we are fucked up. That's supposed to be the standard to these people. And this small group of people, slightly higher than the amount of people that have gone to space, people that really believe in this stuff, really think this is the way, logicking out things that explain to me how you can make logic out of that. Survival, lack of identity, lack of choice, lack of truth, lack of love, lack of realness. You really believe, oh, maybe it's just fear. I don't know. I think it's we're an insane, I'm gonna say man, because I feel like women benefit from the system, but it's not really women that created the system. Men can go completely insane and believe that that's their God-given right. It's to own another human being. We've seen it. Indentured servitude. How about child harvesting? There's a book I read, and I don't know if I said this before, so forgive me. where this man, billionaire, told his family there was a nuclear apocalypse and that they needed to live in the bunker they created years ago. They lived in that bunker for about 7 years before their resources started running out. And they had, according to the radiation chart, at least 20 more years before they could go outside. This man convinced his wife, not their children, but to grow, to impregnate her so that they would have children to eat once they ran out of food. And the mom agreed, and she was always pregnant. And the kids didn't understand, why are you always pregnant, but there's never another kid around? Because they were harvesting those kids. They didn't give them names. They were in a room like cattle, growing, waiting to be eaten. Now the trick is, the billionaire was never going to eat those kids because there was no fallout. There was no apocalypse. There was no nuclear disaster. He was lying as an experiment to see if the fucking family was willing to cannibalize their own kids for the state of potential eventuality. And the reality is that man was only supposed to do it for about a year, maybe 2, just to simulate the event. But he dragged it on because he really felt like this is the way. What other creature? What other creature believes the way to survive a self-made problem is their own solution? And that solution at that. So, full circle back to it. What system benefits from slavery more? Not labor, not textiles, not car industry, not even AI. Because the general public is fueling AI. So what could they be harvesting these brand new babies, child farming, underground bunkers that they're saying is for the apocalypse, all these missing children that they're in real time using because they can't harvest the clones, they can't harvest the children that they've already began to grow through these maybe enslaved women, enslaved families. How many people live on the streets and have to do this because that's what they're supposed to do, but they're supposed to act normal? And then on the news, they're like, oh, such and such's child died. But maybe that person snapped and killed their kid before they went and sold them off because that was the only option. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm just saying again, imagine at a young age feeling like the only way to get love is by selling your mind, body, and soul to your peers. Maybe a couple of people that you consider elders. And the only way, once you realize that that is awful way to exist, they're only going to use, abuse, and kill you. And they're only going to tear you down when you try to get out. That when you think you've made it to a level of getting out, you realize it's only deeper. You're in the fire now. You're not in the frying pan. And then when you're in the fire, how many people just don't exist anymore? That's really why I'm like, Beyonce, you don't know for real, because you lost your soul after Jay-Z was like, fuck you, but still be Beyonce. You lost your soul after that. Like, you were in it. Talking about in it. You were Kanye West to the bullshit until you got screwed. This was fine. That's just the rankings of society. Some people's kids don't matter as much as others. And the fact that people are trying to make all kids equal, crush it. Destroy it. Let me show it off that my kids matter more than every single person. But mind you, while saying that, let me secretly try to sell them off too. That's why everybody's accusing me of this shit. It's because y'all are doing it. I try to get a loan through a casual conversation with a major celebrity, thinking If they see the vision, they see the vision. If they don't see the vision, they don't. Playful banter. Top secret documentation banter, apparently. Because nigga, I'm playful. But you can't say that that's what I wasn't doing. So you hide the information. Oh, sneakiness, lost at sea, all this other bullshit. All because you thought someone genuinely was gonna be your friend for no reason. Let's start there. I ain't no sneaky conniving bitch. I told you what my reason was. You thought you could get one over on me. While, and that's what I don't understand. While you decided not to interact with me directly, you thought this third party social media interaction was normal or the safest. I don't know what the fuck. You also try to throw me under the bus about what I have to offer, even though you were already obsessed. And then when you were wrong because you got mad about who told you? Who told you I was a liar? Who told you that? A stranger. They had my number, didn't they? They just pulled my fucking card, didn't they? You took what you had and you fucking set it on fire. And then try to use the excuse of, this is all a misunderstanding. They'll figure out what happened. I put out the clues. It's up to them to put it together. Do you not realize that doesn't matter, your intention? What happened is what matters. Do you know that's why I have to own up to the fact my daughter was... Because at the end of the day, my intention in keeping her safe at that daycare, my intention in helping that daycare worker out, my intention on talking to her every day after I pick my daughter up, my intention of saying to my daughter, hey, are you all right? And then my intention of being like, she's safe, she's all right, and I don't need to worry about it. That's my fault. But you're not going to take those feelings and then tell me the best way to get out of it is to then sell my daughter. Who I'm talking to is literally insane. And it's really disturbing me that I have to say this. Because it's not rich people. It's not class people. It's not heavily abused generations of people. This is everyday people. Thank God that there's just as many cognitively intelligent people as there are selfish, egotistical, lack of processing people, emotionally stunted and overly influenced by fucking thoughts. People. Why don't you move better, Shantia? Why don't you figure things out better? Because there's nothing to trust besides time, besides pattern recognition, besides watching my Woody puzzle and saying, this is most likely the next piece that's gonna drop, so let me make sure there's space for it on the board. And being right. A lot. But when I'm not focused, when I'm not relaxed, no focus, no relax. Only attacks to my fucking nervous system. Anybody that has been molested, and you don't even gotta be molested, anybody that just knows that molestation is fucked up, no one deserves to be molested, being exposed to somebody that tries to justify molestation fucks it. That's trauma. And you don't even have to do nothing besides talk to them. It's traumatizing. because you don't think like that. Matter of fact, thoughts are evil. That's why God says don't rely on your own understanding. That's why God says don't use your imagination. Because you're fucking an idiot. And you will create something that is fake to justify what is real. So you want me to sit here and say, the reason my daughter is abused is because it always happens. It happens to everybody. People make money. So the only logical explanation is I must be trying to bypass what has already happened, moving forward too fast to get to a space where there's some benefit from this. I ain't no normal nigga. My daughter ain't normal. She's special. My daughter is special. And it doesn't benefit me at all. That's for her. Do you not understand autonomy? I think my body, space between this phone and my body. I don't exist as a whole in this room. I'm right here. You forgot that. That is all it is. That's why God said don't use witchcraft outside of him. Because now y'all out here in the ether just maybe over there in that red door. Maybe over here on this call. This bright light over there. Shanti, you're so distracted. Bitch, I'm not supposed to be here. Why do you think I'm so quick to say this is fucked up? The second it happened, I said, God, am I supposed to do this? Should I do this? And he said, go ahead, just like that. Yes, go ahead. It wasn't a happy consent. It wasn't contentment. It was mourning. And the instant it happened, 2 separate times, like an attack. The first time was at the end, right before it was over. My daughter woke up. She saw. Second time, it was while it was happening. On the toilet, trying to pee. My daughter's over there asleep, waking up crying, rolling around trying to fight something off her. And then the third time, which I think you just were so confident, I rebuked it out of this fucker. Get away from me. And my daughter. But she was stirred at that time too. And the moment it happened, because the first 3 times, it wasn't through, it was arcing into my daughter. The third time, I tried to transmute that shit through me to my daughter. And I rebuked it. But I'll tell you this. It sat. I remember now. The second time on the toilet, this is when it happened. And I knew for some reason it was different than the first time. Because the first time, it was like my daughter saw. And she woke up out of like, no, mommy, no. That's how she woke up the first time. Why do you like it if it hurts? Don't do it, mommy. The first time. The second time, she was dead asleep and I was on the toilet being told, I want to drink your pee. Why are you trying to drink my pee after you done try to butt fuck me in front of my daughter? In her sleep. I knew in that second on the toilet, I knew then that you were trying to lie to me. But I saw the vision as soon as it happened. I was like, oh, you just try to connect me to every pleasure I might have in the future of sex being connected to my daughter's body. She's going to have a reaction every time I am pleasured or stimulated or aroused in any way. I knew that was what it was. And it pissed me off because I was like, not just that it was possible, but it's like, this was the goal. You're trying to manifest a child molester out of me by abusing my system. I have involuntary spasms. If I am, I'm afraid to enjoy admiring my daughter because I have a sneaky inclination that something inside, that's not me, mind you, is enjoying this. That has nothing to do with her being a child. Innocent, free, my daughter, relaxed, able to enjoy her day. Ooh, a baby in a diaper, baby naked, baby. That's what you want me to be over here thinking. You're trying to make me think, you know what, I never considered this before. Let me get in on this. That's what you want. And the only thing I have to go through constantly is I can't enjoy my fucking motherhood because I have to protect my daughter from whatever the fuck this is. And if it comes to me, and this is why my mom don't like giving hugs, if it comes to me having to limit my ability to be around my child, to not let her get any of this from me, that was what I was thinking. That's the fear I was working off of. I have to separate myself to keep my daughter safe. This is why my mom hasn't had anybody in almost 20 years. Because what is this? Oh, it might be coming from the inside the house. It could be this, it could be that. Probably is a multitude. Because who knew? Who knew? Who fucking knew? Apparently everybody but me. Why didn't you know that your brother molested you? Oh, she had a fainting spell. That must have been for publicity. Because her taxes are so embarrassing. You're ignorant, stupid bitch. Without knowing anything. I didn't even know. There's no compassion. And you're so fucking head up your ass. You think you're smart. Instead of being like, this is a brand new situation. All of my experience. Let me figure this one out. Instead of saying, I already know. Instead of saying, I already know, you couldn't sit there and be humble for a fucking second and say, what is that? Because why? You already knew about the child molesting rings. You already knew about the trafficking rings. You already knew about who's involved. That's just how the world works. That's why I talk shit. Because you won't sit there and say, it's not because I'm smart. It's not because I'm educated and Greek affiliated and an alumni to this particular school or whatever the fuck. It's because I already know. And I've already accepted that that's how fucked up the world is. And I already agreed to play my part in it. I can't fuck with you. I cannot fuck with you. And the fact that you try to be a lawyer, what is it for? My grandma used to say, Shanti, you'd be such a good lawyer. My sister wanted to be a lawyer. That's how I got to meet Richard Jones, the federal judge of Washington State, because my stepmom, a real one. You want to go find out if that's really for you? But you over here cosplaying. For what? For what is the real question? Ignore all the other shit because I told you to. So fucking listen. Why are you doing this? Are you trying to ask me why I'm doing this? Because you're so dumb you don't see why? Because I'm sorry. Table, everything on it. And you still don't fucking get it? I don't believe that. I absolutely don't believe that. The odds are, the possibility. Bitch, that's why you don't do good investigation. And everybody can be an investigator, but ain't nobody a good investigator. Remember that dude that profiled that guy about what he would look like 20 years after the fact? That's a good investigator. That's some raw shit. And guess what? That's rare form. Rare. But you over here cosplaying about people's lives. My daughter's life in real time, not no back in the past, not what did happen, what is happening. You're contributing to what's going to happen. So why aren't you responsible? On both types. Responsible as an individual and responsible for this particular situation. Why not? Because you, Shantia, should have known about the rock in the shoe. Them Somalians. And them friends of yours. Them family members. All the responsibility always comes back to the bitch. The dog should have known. You're the type to be like, we should just bomb the whole city. Because you don't live in the city. You know what I got away from Emmett Till? Because it's funny. We talked about Emmett Till as a class. Like history class in 7th grade. Miss Paris. I'm telling you now, Miss Paris was an OG white lady. You talk about Miss Honey, I had a Miss Paris. Okay? We talked about all of that. And I remember everybody saying, oh, that's over there, that's over there, that ain't over here. I remember thinking, yeah, that's over there. But then my conscience, thank God for the subconscious, that's like 2 lives in one time. You talk about time. Why is it that everybody's playing with the subconscious? You're playing. Anyway, I said, just because it's over there, don't mean that it's not connected to here. We're literally hearing about it. So how is it not connected? And 2, it's going on over there. What on God's green earth make you think it can't come over here? God's green earth. That scared me as a 7th grader because I was like, no one's talking about that. And that only makes more sense than what the fuck we're actually talking about. And then I watched Emmett Till. And I said, as a 12-year-old, because he was like, 14? I was like, I would never have looked at that boy. If he was here at this time, I would never have looked at him. And he's getting killed because he was looking at a white girl? Maybe I need to reconsider what I'm thinking about. Come to find out, he didn't even fucking do it. Even the documentary wasn't accurate. They kept saying the white lady said he whistled. And he didn't. But I remember thinking, even if he did. Even if he fucking did. Blow the whistle. Because what the fuck? And the mom was like, we're from the north. I didn't think this would happen to us. Let's also include the fact that he was a light-skinned, green-eyed boy. That's the cream of the crop of blackness to white people. And they still did what they did. You think you can be fucking white? You think you got that white lady was like, ooh, a nigga with green eyes. I like that. That's really what happened. Let's be real. We know a green-eyed nigga that all the other races are like, you special. We all know one. Stop it. The mom letting it be public, open casket. Everyone in town come see what happened. That's all you can do after that. What are you gonna do? Get mad at them for being a all white jury? Get mad at them for only taking 30 minutes to deliberate? being mad at them for going through a whole trial and snickering at you the whole time. What do you do? The truth. And that's 12-year-old me learning that lesson. I want to make that clear. 12-year-old me learning that lesson. No one around me fucking watched Emmett Till's documentary. They only had that discussion in class. My dad is the type. Japanese class. Oh, this is the movies that you're watching. We're going to order them on Netflix and watch them before you watch them so we see what they're talking about. Grave of the Fireflies. And then we watched it in class. And I cried. I'm like, people keep thinking I'm bursting out in tears for no... Listen, when I want to cry at my big age, I can't. I'll cry for like 30 seconds and be like, bitch, shut up. That's how I am. But I be wanting to cry. My body is like, shut up. What right do you have to cry? But at the time, I was just like, it's embarrassing to cry in front of people. It's just like embarrassing to fart in front of people. I'm not doing it. Mom was like, why don't you fart? Relax. Mom, I'm not farting in front of people. We cried in class. All the niggas, everyone cried. Even if it wasn't like tears, it was like, okay, I need a second to recover from what I just watched. Because that shit ain't no joke, bro. And I just remember being like, I'm so glad I watched this with my dad first because I would have been a mess in this class. And the movie, I'm not gonna go watch it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Go watch it. That movie. Me and my brother were supposed to be a team. When we were at home, I was required to watch him because he was so deviant. We were a team. If he does something, I gotta go. If I do something, he gotta go. Type, if one of you get in trouble, everybody get in trouble type energy. Chancy, if he does anything, you make sure to tell me. I thought that was like, we're a team. And then one year, I go to Texas. I go to Dallas, Texas to go spend the summer with my aunt. My dad's like, you're not going because your brother can't go. He has to go to summer school. And you can't go because he's not coming. And I was like, that is the most unfair thing I've ever heard in my life. I can't go because he has summer school when I go out of my way to make sure I don't even get C's. I only had 1 C in my entire high school career because I was sick and would sleep in that class. You know how easy a class has to be for you to sleep the whole time and still get a C? Japanese. 4. Shout out to Mr. Reynolds for not fucking me up for that. And I can't go? You got me fucked up. Protest. And I still got to go. Thank God. And then when I come back, my brother, I was here doing the dishes every time. It's your turn to do the dishes for 3 months straight. Dad, what? Well, she wasn't here to make the mess, Barry. Thank God, because what logic are you using? The fuck? Escape one system. Feel free for a couple years. Find out that you're being watched. Because you said that the Illuminati's real. Can't escape, so what can I do? I molested my kid. I'm trying to sell her to the biggest bidder. Which could be anybody, because we don't know the Epstein list. Clearly. You see how complicated the truth has to be for a lie like this to even, a simple lie like this to even sound right? How many truths have we ignored this entire time? Oh, Chantil, you should have known that your family, you should have known that your friends, you should have known about the babysitter, you should have known about that nigga. According to who? The need to know? Oh, yeah. The need is there. Needing to know those things. Definitely there. How would I have known that exact facet of society that you're telling me I should have known about already? Who is the main one trying to get away with it? And then this all came down to whether I remembered my brother molesting me and that I was consensual as a child being molested, and that potentially this happened as an adult before I got pregnant, because why not? Because the odds of me wanting to fuck my brother was more realistic. I don't even like light-skinned niggas. I don't like light-eyed people. If you got, no offense to Rihanna, if you got green eyes as a black person, I'm like, suspicious. Sorry. That's why my grandpa got green eyes. His brother got green eyes. My cousin got green eyes. But yeah, I got hazel eyes in there too. Some really hazily eyes. Even gray eyes. Because we mix as fuck in this family. I said my baby can look like anybody. She look like me. Because fuck, who knew? I also got very dark-skinned people in my family. My sister, being my half-sister, I was like, oh, I know it's possible. Because look at these full-blooded family members. It ain't even about the other parent. You could come out literally looking like anybody in my family. I low-key got another twin. He's a little boy. He's like 13, 14 now, but I got a twin that came out before. And I was like, that little nigga look like grandpa. Nah. I look like grandma. He might look a little bit like grandma, but he a boy, so maybe he got both. Because his hair, look, square heads. As much as my head is small, we got corners. I said this before. Anyway. Me giving a fuck and not wanting any kids to be, the thing about being molested is the source, the familiarity of molestation, the spirit of molestation. There's two meanings of the spirit of molestation. The person that is possessed by it and are being lied to, because that's what spirits do, is tell you a false reality so that you believe it, and that really you're insane at this point, but they want you to capitalize on it, make a point to live that, because we're trying to create the new reality. That's one facet. The second one is you fucking got attacked by that shit. And it's weird because that person's not always like that. Or maybe they are always like that around you, but you notice that they don't do it with everybody. It's very much a sudden change when they decide to be on that. And that's why I can have distinct memories of two things. One time my cousins came over and I didn't know they were over. I was asleep in the room. They just came in. My little cousin, she comes in my room trying to wake me up. And the first reaction I had, I was like 10, 11. First reaction I had was like, get off me! And I scared the fuck out of her. And I remember thinking, like, why did I react like that? Like, damn, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I thought you were my brother. And I wanted him to fuck with me. I don't know why I reacted like that. And then fast forwarding, when I came back to Washington after my dad was like, "You're homeless, get your ass out here." I was staying on his spare ass bed to his room, and I was laying down in the bed. Our brother comes over. I don't know, I can't remember if he was sleeping on the couch at the time. Both of us were there for a second, for a short period of time. And I remember laying down in bed. He opens the door, I'm looking at him. And this is the problem, is that this energy that I get, I have dismissed it because I'm like, I don't know what it is or why I feel that way. I just know it's like a split second of feeling like it, and then I'm like, whatever, I'm tripping. But when he came in, and this is why I remember now, because all of this shit that's happened, I'm like, that's what that was. He came in, and you know when you're looking like annoyed and you're like, oh, I gotta go talk to somebody, blah, blah. He was looking for my dad, and he saw I was in the room, and his eyes lit up for a second, and he kind of tried to like hide this little smile he had, and he was like, oh, you're staying in here? I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. And that look he had stuck out to me. Like, I remember it right now. Nothing that I know of happened. When I say that I know of, people are like, oh, this like gray area thing where you're trying to make it seem like anything could have been what actually happened. No, there's a distinct lack of memory. So if you know something happened and I don't know something happened and you call me a liar for it, does that not negate the fact that you knew something happened the whole time? 1.5. Maybe 9. That's when I first disassociated in the mirror. I was staring at a mirror and I was like I just felt like the separation of myself from my body for a second, and I brought myself back, and then I tried it again because I was like, what was that? And I separated myself again, and I couldn't. There was a fear there, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I couldn't bring myself back. So I've been feeling disassociated since 9 years old, for real. Just looking in the mirror. And then 10 years old, my cousin visiting and me freaking out on her. But she woke me up like, wake up, playfully. Not on some sneaky shit. And then I find out I have low blood pressure when I'm highly stressed. When I was pregnant in labor, every time, not the first set of not the first day of contractions, because you don't go to the hospital right away. I'm at my mom's house and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired after I have this contraction, I'm going to sleep. So I was laying down, have a contraction, rotate, lay down again. When I got to the hospital, they got so intense that I would throw up. And every time I threw up, I would pass out immediately. And then when the next contraction came, I'd wake up and throw up and then pass out once the contraction was over. And that kept happening. And they didn't want me to get an epidural. I could tell because they didn't even put my labs in to get an epidural. At first, they had a whole student board. They're like, don't push on her cervix if it's not open. They pushed on my cervix when it wasn't open. Shit hurt so bad. They didn't put my labs in when I asked for an epidural. So I had to wait another 4 hours or however long it took for them to put new labs in to get the results back and then to get my epidural started. And I had to tell them I don't want to have a conversation about it because I did not expect all the things I was planning on experiencing in this birth, focus, relax, breathing. I was not anticipating passing out every time I had a contraction. I didn't understand it. And it scared me because how close to death am I every time I pass out? I couldn't remember that time when I was pregnant before that I passed out once when I was at the counter standing up at my job. I didn't remember that. What I knew was something's wrong. So I got an epidural, and that helped me stay awake through the process. Turns out I got something's wrong in my spine where when I I remember working at a suit store, and I went to the bathroom, and I was about to sit down on the toilet, like this position literally, and I sneezed, and my whole back locked up. And this was like right before I got back into school, like 2016, 2015. My whole back right here, I couldn't move anything. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm stuck like this, and it hurts so bad, like my whole spasm, my ribs, everything. And then I sneezed again, and my shit relaxed. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with my back? I've gotten injured before from like doing a gymnastics place, a trampoline park thing. I ain't no athlete. I hurt myself. I've done the scorpion, and my legs went over my head. So I thought that's what it was. And working at FedEx and all this stuff, like that's what it was. No. Apparently, when I first was attacked by my brother, something was injured in the process, and it caused me to pass out. And he attacked me anally. And I did some research. There's a numbing effect, because there's this cross wiring of pain and pleasure in the anus. And if you are quote unquote gentle enough, you might not register like the full extent of what's going on in your body, because there's like a numbing effect in this, and then like later on it turns into like a pleasure effect. I'm learning. And for me, I pass out easily. When I get the level of anxiety is too high, the level of whatever. One time I had a panic attack. I promise you, my legs buckled. I didn't pass out, but my legs buckled. When I gave blood the first time in high school, okay, now everybody gives blood. Blah, blah, blah. Washington State, you got a cool shirt for giving blood. I don't give a fuck what the deepness of it is. I'm fucking 16, 17 at the time. I don't think I want a cool shirt. The shit was in the wrong vein. It took 45 minutes. But I was like, I'm not giving up, because I came for that t-shirt. And because you already got, I'm not giving you blood that you can't use. You need enough blood to not waste my blood. AB positive, first of all. Second of all, got my shirt. Passed out for like 30 minutes. The rest of my school day was done. I was sitting there. Okay, sit me up. That put me back. I literally blacked out. I didn't pass out, which is weird. I just blacked out. Like, can't hear, can't see. It's entirely plausible that my brother has perfected sneaking up on me, because he's a liar. He lied about a lot of stuff that he didn't have to lie about, that made me be like, can't quite put my finger on it, but if 2 + 2 = 4, and 4 + 4 = 8, what the fuck is this? That's how I feel. So to find out that like part of my issue is that people are taking advantage of the fact that I pass out under heavy stress, and I don't remember. Like, most recently, I was like I went to Atlanta. I was in the Greyhound. Like, just, I was told they have cheap cars that you can get available that are drivable in Atlanta. Not everywhere you can get it, but you can find somewhere and you can get a car. I went out there from North Carolina to get a car. I was going to go back to North Carolina. I had a job. I'm doing all these things. But if I want to make the most of my money, go back to Atlanta. I go there. I spend one day trying to figure out what to do. Like, where should I go look for a car? What, all this stuff. I'm like, am I an idiot? Like, am I wasting my time? Because I didn't plan it out well. I had seen this person on Craigslist that was selling a car, and I was like, even if I don't get in contact with this person, this is just like, what's the word? Good incentive to go, because the car was cheap, and they're saying it was like a quality car. And I was like, well, if this one's here and this is on Craigslist, I'm not gonna bank on this Craigslist ad, but I'm gonna go with the incentive of like, okay, somebody's looking for some money and I have it, and they'll have a car. I had my daughter with me, already like homeless. Like the worst that can happen is I can go back and be homeless still. But having a car would change things. Was homeless with the car before, homeless without a car, and my daughter, crazy. So I went, didn't contact anybody because my phone wasn't even working. I had like basic service or something where it was like I think I was just on Wi-Fi. I don't think I could use my phone outside Wi-Fi. Like, that was stupid. Why am I in Atlanta with no service? But you know what? I was confident, like, if it's meant to be, I'm gonna find me a car. If it's not meant to be, it's not. So I was there for one day. At the end of the day, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to waste any money. So let me go back to the Greyhound station and I'll just chill there until I figure out what the next move is. They have Wi-Fi, all that stuff. Cool. You can't go in the train station unless you are, or the, what do you call it? The Greyhound station, unless you have a ticket. So I'm trying to figure out, should I get a ticket now? Should I wait and get a ticket later? Like, how expensive is it going to be to get back if I don't get a car, right? I'm sitting there and I start passing the fuck out. My daughter's running around. Thank God there's security and all these people here, because I was like, come over, get back. Like, I kept passing out, waking up, passing out, waking up, passing out, waking up. And I was like, what the fuck? And I started throwing up. And I was like, oh no, this is just like when I had her. Like, what is going on? And I got out there, the security was like, go inside the building because you don't need to be out here with your daughter. So I go inside the building. I'm in there and I do the same thing. I'm still like weak as fuck. I got all this stuff with me. I got her. I can't stand up. Like, take me to the hospital. Take me to the fucking hospital. And they couldn't figure it out because they're like, well, you ain't got nothing in your system besides weed. I'm like, yeah, I know. Vasovagal syndrome. Simple stuff. Dehydration, overstressed, pain in the central part of my back from carrying all this stuff. Pain that I haven't really registered because of the numbing effects of this particular nerve being irritated. And then also having my tailbone is out of whack. And there's just pain now. When this happens, especially, it's just... everything is fucked up. If I have two sphincters, the second sphincter, the one furthest up, is the one closest to this nerve. And that nerve is the one that is irritated when I'm stressed. And that nerve is connected to my vaginal region. And when I realize this, when I'm super stressed out, like fear, like genuine, like terror, stress, my body reacts with the numbing feeling in my butt, in my back, and my vagina starts getting moist in preparation. I think it's of being assaulted, because I think that's really what it is. Like, with anybody that's assaulted, like, your body is going to protect itself. They think mucus is like gross. I don't like spit, okay? I don't like spit, period. But if my body's creating mucus, is it because I'm like, yes, please give me this dick? Oh yeah, please, brother. That's what y'all thought. But you don't need the thousands, hundreds of thousands of cases of people can get hard on accident. It's a bodily function. Women can get wet if they're being penetrated without wanting to, because your body is like, you're not tearing. And even under duress, you're not going to tear. At least the least amount as possible. It's like this lack of understanding of what your body naturally does, and giving birth leads to all this misunderstanding of what your body does when it's trying to protect itself, prepare for pain, bear down. Oh, that's pleasure. Because there's a cross wiring in the butthole that makes you think that you get numb, makes you think you can shut down. That's why I think you guys know what's going on. You played ignorant and said that it's more likely that I did this on purpose than that people can be genuinely a victim of someone else's malicious intent to take your body, your mind, and your soul by force. Not even just voluntarily. People do it by force. Beyonce, this is what I've been telling you. Not everyone chooses to have their butthole wrung out. And people that supposedly do choose, what was their alternative? Having it by force? So they had to choose it? You don't know nothing about that. So of course your first reaction is she liked it. Bitch, you like it. Your man likes it. That's why you're trying to lay it on me. This destiny swapping shit. Wiz Khalifa, Cameron Jabril Thomas, you enjoy the pleasure of taking the innocence of people with your mouth. It's an energy harvesting thing. You enjoy doing it. And you try to tell me I did. The mother of my child that I've had for almost, at that point, already a year and some months. Suddenly this attraction to her innocence? Where'd that come from? Because I still to this day absolutely abhor any fucking feelings that are not mine. You're not gonna come into my fucking dojo and tell me what I like. But you are gonna create an enemy that has to defend herself all the fucking time. Why won't she shut up? Because you're not that fucking powerful. You're actually an idiot, and it's embarrassing that you had this much leeway through lies to get to this point. It's embarrassing how many white people have died behind this movement that made you believe it was worth it. Because the white people don't believe it's worth it. Do you not know that? You're really just hiding the fact that you're addicted to taking innocence. Wiz Khalifa, Beyonce, Giselle, Knowles Carter. Because you never had it. When did you molest Solange, Beyonce? Since you believe it's so easy for people to be molested by their siblings. When did you do that? Cameron, are you ever going to talk about your transgender sister and your mother and your father and your wife? Not your ex, because she's been through enough. Who's your best friend, Cameron? Who fucked your wife in front of you? Because that's the narrative you put out. Even though you set up the cameras, the room, the time, the date, what is it? And the date, that's the 4D part of life, isn't it? You wizard. How much control did you have in the thing that hurt you? Oh, you had to find out that you like gay shit because you allowed yourself to go through some gay shit to get to where you are, and now you're trying to justify it because you're gay? Oh, I'm bisexual. Oh, I'm confused. Everybody's trying to make fun of me for allowing these spaces of conversation because you keep bullshitting about who you are. Maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that. Maybe my problem is that. You like taking the innocence of people. And I think the thing about being quote unquote gay is that men, if they've never had butt sex as adults, there's still a quote unquote innocence to take. Children, whatever, it don't matter. Virginity is virginity. And the thing about it is that people use this shaming thing that used to be in the church of like, be a virgin, be virtuous. It's God-given right of men to own those things. And they're already twisted, but you just perverted them, bro. Like they were perverted in the secret houses, the secret places in the church. People knew about them, but you took it and was like, we're gonna make our own church and we're gonna put that on the front and center. You gotta do it to get in. At least when it's a church being a liar, a thief, and a conniving ass bitch, all they can do is admit to the truth once it comes out. They can't they have no room to try to change what you did into something that's acceptable. It's either hide it or don't do it. But that's not, you got a third option. I'm so powerful because I can destroy minds. I can kill. Like, bro, we all have to eat. What is so fucking special about killing things? Oh, for your advantage, for your benefit. Gotcha. You're eating what you hunt. I get it. You're foraging. You can't do anything straight. I say I love my baby and you say, oh, a little nasty. I say I want to protect my baby. You say, ooh, nasty. I say, my baby daddy ain't shit because he wasn't even the baby daddy, and he ain't fucking shit. And we had to go through how long of nobody believing me, because who the fuck am I to say another black man, 6'4" with glasses and a beard, he represents what I represent. He's just doing his best as a fraudulent ass bitch he is. Oh, he gets the support. Because that's what y'all are about. Let's defend the chaos so they can't find me. And I just want everybody that has nothing to do with this but understands everything that I'm talking about to understand. I don't put nothing past nobody. I said, this bitch Beyonce really thinks I can't see what she's doing in the ether. But the problem is, I'm so fucking crazy according to my family, according to these white people that I'm around trying to fucking learn about stuff to or from. There is no room to even ask the question. Oh, she's from LA, she's too ghetto. Nigga, I'm in Orange County and I'm from Washington. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I met my cousin tried to set me up with this dark-skinned tall dude. Oh, he's your type. Why? Because he's dark-skinned and tall? He was, if anyone's a precursor to that man, it was him. Grocery stocking, quiet, nerdy ass nigga. And I was so disgusted. Why are you touching me? Went to the club. Don't touch the back of my shoulder. Like, never talk to me. Oh, that's so rude. No, it's not. I'm disgusted. And then I'm realizing that man was nothing special to me. It was a challenge. Shantia, stop being a scary bitch. You can't keep waiting for people to come to you. Oh, the right people are going to come to you. You can't keep waiting on that. Turns out my cousin's over here doing spell work, trying to throw me off. Oh, she's prolific, all right. I probably got drowned just to hold you down. Bitch, you were trying to push me and keep your head up. I hope you lost your ass in the process, all this stress. Everybody talking about me on Ozempic. Bitch, what kind of health conditions you got now? I don't even know how I started this. But I will say, y'all thought you did it. Y'all were there. Y'all had it. Right? Everybody wants to clown me. Oh, thank God for divine intervention, because wow. Have you not seen my cousin Vinny? The fuck is wrong with y'all? It really concerns me. And I watched my cousin Vinny in that criminology class with that semester substitute. That man did not play about me. I didn't even know he wasn't playing about me. You're like a coffee addict. You love it. You hype. She must have done cocaine because she's too hype. If you knew how my nose was set up, my allergies, foreign objects. Bitch, I can't even handle anal sex. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna die. Surprised I could breathe. Wake it. Time I woke up with my face down at the pillow like this, and I was like, what the fuck happened? I'm surprised I could breathe. Time I was at Wild Waves. They got the 2 kiddie pools next to the wave pool. I was going in the kiddie pool for kids over and over. All of a sudden, I was like, which one is which? I got confused. I was like, let me go in this one. And I blame myself, like, no, you wanted to go in that one. That's why you went into it. Why do I go somewhere that I can't walk? I can't even swim. I almost drowned that day. I almost drowned. I remember the whiteness from the sun. That's all I saw in the water. And then all of a sudden I got dragged back out. And I was like, oh, I almost died. And it was my brother that saved me. And the thing is, it's like 2 things. I told him that he saved me. He don't remember saving me. Actually, 3 things. He don't remember saving me. He was like, oh yeah, I did. Then tried to throw it in my face when I had something to say. Oh, I saved you. Nigga, I told you saved me. What are you talking about? And then 2, my brother almost got struck by lightning. When I say almost struck by lightning, I'm standing here. That lightning, let me show you. Where my foot is? Where that towel is. Black spot on the ground. Outside, waiting for my mom to come to the car. We were running around in the parking lot, or in the driveway. Last time I lived with my mom, Everett, Washington. 3 months in this house before we had to leave. My brother almost got struck by lightning. He don't remember it. I do. And then the 3rd thing. What was the 3rd thing? When I remember it, I'll say it. But you get how that works? It keeps working. You can hide. If you're not violent while you're anally raping somebody, they won't catch it. I used to think, oh my God, the doctors need to be checking for that kind of stuff. They need to be looking in the anal cavity, bruising, all this other stuff. The actual opening and closing of your rectum. What do they say? You can go up to 3 inches, and raccoons can get into, 4 inches? Your butthole can expand to. And raccoons can get into spaces 2 inches wide or something crazy. You can get a raccoon up your butt at any time. That was a random fact I heard. But the nervous system, the bones, when you're young and you got all the HGH in your body, you heal so fast and pain isn't the same. But once you hit 30, your body isn't doing none of that regenerative, reconstructive surgery that it does naturally in your childhood. It doesn't. It stops. It stops at like 25 really for women, about 30 for men. But for everybody, 30 is when it's like, we're no longer creating it. So whatever was residually left is gone. You used that the last couple of years. That's why you're feeling this and it ain't recovering the way it's supposed to. See, the athletic trainer in me is like 19-year-olds and 80-year-olds have this in common, where they don't really realize they're at the age they're at. They don't know that you're not 10 anymore and that it doesn't take that long or that it takes longer to heal, and you can get a way more drastic injury. How many kids do you know have torn an ACL? How many young adults have torn an ACL? A couple years of difference, and your body's like, we don't do that. 80-year-olds don't know they're 80. They're like, fuck, why is it taking so long to heal? There ain't nothing wrong with you, Miss Cheryl. Matter of fact, you're doing really well. But I think your frustration and how much time you wanted to give yourself through this and how much time you actually need to get through this is completely understandable. Let's deal with the fact that you are doing great. Things take time. And just because you don't feel pain anymore doesn't mean you're healed. I said that to both of the age groups. The first step is to stop the pain. The second step is to create the barrier of this is a wound and this is protection, whether it be skin, whether it be blood, whether it be plasma, whether it be medicine, whether it be bandage wraps, whether it be a coma to be put in. You need a healing period. That healing period is going to stop the pain. It's going to recreate the pain into either soreness, weakness, or I think lots of range of motion. And then you think that this is the new normal because that pain isn't there. The constant isn't there. But now this new experience is there in the same place where it was pain and inability. Weakness, and you want to hop on it like it's a fresh 100% well done ligament, tendon, whatever, and then when it re-tears, you're shocked. Kids can get all kinds of re-tears and be like, no, I'm fine. But that's the adult and you saying, no, let's double check, because what the fuck? After you get past my skin is healed over the wound, I have a closed piece of skin here. You have to go through the reconstruction. And this is where therapy comes in, because you want to build up. All you can do to build bone, resistance. All you can do to build muscle, tear. Well, at least that's what they used to say. I think it's just resistance now. They don't really encourage you to tear your shit. But I think it's really like, it's going to occur, and being prepared nutritionally, being prepared in the types of movements you do, being prepared to do limited range of motion until the full range of motion is available, and pushing when you don't think you're ready for full range of motion, because that's the only way to break the threshold to get into full range of motion. Once you're in full range of motion, you don't feel pain doing full range of motion, and you're consistent. Without any complications, then you can start practicing the 100% behavior again. And they, having heard that kind of like chronological of how healing should go, gives them their confidence back. Because I'm not hindering myself from getting better. I have to embrace where I am, who I am. What is this? Because maybe I'm Russian. I've been paying attention to everything but me. It's like a life lesson every time. Athletes, occupational therapy, anyone that has to heal that is not used to it. Especially, let me just be real. My mom, 90% of the stuff she went through, I am so angry because it's like, if we had the information and the knowledge, she wouldn't have had to go through 90% of it. I'm not saying she didn't have stuff that was uncontrollable happen to her. Car accidents, violence, all these things happen. But just in terms of the healing process, if you had the education to trust your body, to trust the process. My mom's been in survival mode. Everything is about surviving. I haven't eaten because I can't eat. I need to eat because I haven't eaten. There's no consistency that I knew was necessary. Structure. That's why I appreciate my grandmother so much, because she was the only one like, no, you're going to do the dishes every time you're here. You're going to make your bed. You're going to clean the bathroom. I hated doing that stuff, but I was like The subconscious me was like, thank God I have some structure because I can't handle chaos of do whatever you want. I'm just going to sit here because I don't want to be running around engaging in a bunch of shit. Why am I not over there? Why am I not over here? Why am I not? There's a lot of reasons. The safest place for me is right here. And when I'm given some structure, that it's safe to do these dishes. It's safe to do that. I'm building bonds by doing those things. I'm showing who I am as a person by doing those things. I need structure. I know that about myself. And, you know, it's easy to have addictive personality. If you have Native American blood, I don't give a fuck what y'all think about my Native American blood. I think it's really corny of you to sit here and know you have ancestors for hundreds of years in a country and not believe at all that there is some mixture in other culture. Because the reality is that Black culture became Black culture in the 60s, in the 50s. Before that, it was just over there culture. And there was a lot of fucking people over there. There's a lot of people over there. Oh, your daughter has Asian eyes. There's a lot of people over there. You know there's Chinese Jamaicans, right? I want some Chinese Jamaican food. Somebody, anybody, somebody, let me try it, please. Please, are you kidding me? But now it's considered Black culture. I think it needs to be understood so that when people say there is no culture, because we don't have hundreds of years, thousands of years doing the same shit. So we don't have fucking female mutilation. No, we don't. We only have circumcision because of white men. If anything, we have the punishment that was promised to us. People get so mad about that. You are God's people and you got punished. Ha ha. We're over here. I ain't God's people because he hates us. He hates me. So fuck God. And fuck y'all. No. They fucked up. Just like Moses got pissed and hit that rock instead of speaking to the rock and then they never entered the promised land. People get fucked up. God knew they weren't going to enter it for another 40 years or however long it was. He knew y'all were going to turn your backs as soon as you stopped getting what you wanted out of him. Oh, y'all the God's people. Y'all keep getting all these blessings. Y'all keep getting all these lineages. Why do you think he let Jesus come through the worst lines in the Bible or in the 12 tribes? Not the best ones, not the Levites. Why? Because everybody matters. Everything is this deep. Everything is important. But no, God hates us. But you want to ignore the fact that, the Bible says, slaves be good to your masters, all these other things. The Bible also says that it was promised that we would have to endure 400 years minimum of all this shit. If we didn't fucking stick to the covenant. Everybody talks about Jews and being the Israelites and being original Jew. What did Adam Sandler call it? The Black Jew? Or the Black Hebrew? Everybody wants to claim that shit, but no one wants to talk about how the original Hebrews broke their covenant and promised their lineages to go through suffering. If he promised that the people that went against Cain would have 7 plus 70 years of struggle, and Cain was the one that brought in ego, that's still his people. Ham, Kemet, they have to embrace him on their own. This individual. You have to embrace him on your own. It's individual. If you understand how you got to where you got to, it would give you some humility. Because how many billions of sperm cells did it take for you to exist? And how many eggs? 1. God made you from conception. You were a light that sparked in your mother's womb. She knew of you before she knew of you. We know that by science. Your grandmother knew of you. before you knew of you? Why couldn't a promise of slavery to get your fucking heads out of your fucking asses long enough to see that that ain't no God? No golden calf is God. No dick riding is God. No orgasmic experience can be better than God. God created orgasms. The male orgasm that you keep making this manufactured thing, this like mechanical response, is magical because there's a soul that gets pushed through. But it's manufactured now. If I put my finger this far into your prostate, I can make you have a baby. Women's orgasms, they are so perverted. They didn't know what it was because male orgasms were the only thing. If you had an orgasm as a woman, it was through your anus back in the day. You had a baby through your vagina, not pleasure. So now that they understand that you do get pleasure, that's too much ownership. Mutilated. Your only function is manufacturing. You think God hates pleasure? Or do you think that people hate that God made pleasure? Everybody that has sex don't enjoy it. People that sell sex don't enjoy it. The people that do enjoy it are hurting, broken, don't know what else is there to make this as memorable as it should be. Besides money. Broken. Manufactured. What I learned through mechanically orgasming, one is I clearly have different types of orgasms because that ain't shit. It ain't shit. It's physically strenuous. It's physically depleting. It's physically wearing to your body. But there's nothing gained. There's an extraction. That's what I learned. As a woman, I don't know. I can't tell you how. I feel like that's 10 times more with men because you are literally pushing it. Like it's so much more energy. But to like understand that that's the mechanics of why not people enjoy it, but why people do it. Y'all are insane. Y'all are sitting here pretending like it's not a power dynamic that you are getting off on and saying it's purely the pleasure. Y'all are lying. That's why niggas like Wiz Khalifa, Cameron Jabril Thomas can sit there and say, this button I'm pressing that is causing this orgasm needs to be crossbred with my desire, my personal desire that I probably share with everyone I fucked. Not everyone, but that makes this power dynamic make sense. Taking innocence, this is the lane. Make it any more complicated than that. You don't have to. It's already fucking mystery. Secrets of Alexandria. The Vatican has 20 miles of books. Evidence?